Greetings, peace be with you. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how semen retention accelerates the law of attraction. Now, this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, then it's important to get on the same page when it comes to defining what the law of attraction actually is, because I remember when I got started on this journey, I thought that the law of attraction was about sitting and thinking differently, but that is only half of the process. Okay, it's not only about thinking differently, it's also about feeling differently, and how we think and how we feel creates our state of being, and who you are is in resonance with what you experience in the relationships that you have, in the circumstances that you find yourself in the balance that you see in your bank account, is all in resonance with who you are. So the law of attraction is not only about thinking differently. Yes, thinking differently is like 50% of the process, but it is also about feeling differently, and that really comes because when we think differently, we make different choices, which lead to different behaviors, which lead to different experiences, of which the end result is a different emotion. Okay, so if you have been in this whole spiritual community for a while, you understand that there is this field of information that contains the scripts and sceneries for everything that ever was, is, or can be, which means that the future in which you are healthy, wealthy, and wise already exists in the here and now, but it is your thought energy that tunes in to that area of the field, and it is your emotions that draw those events back to you. Now, the reason why semen retention is essential and how it accelerates this whole process is because what keeps us where we are is our attachment to what is. Okay, when we get attached to the way that things are, right, even if we might experience a heightened emotion in accordance with something, right, so many of us know exactly what we don't want. We know that we don't want to be broke anymore. We know that we don't want to be in toxic relationships anymore. We know that we don't want to be X, right? We all know this, but the fact is that the field does not respond to what you want. It doesn't respond to the content of your consciousness, or it only responds to the content of your consciousness. It doesn't respond to the orientation of your consciousness, which means that if you have a very, very strong emotion towards something, which is what you don't want, then that is exactly what you will get, because that is the content of your consciousness. But semen retention, what it allows us to do is see beyond our current reality. Okay, if you are to become the conscious creator of your reality, you must preserve your creative energy. You must transmute your creative energy within your body rather than without your body. When you let go of your creative life force energy, which is stored in your seed, is when you do not have energy left over to conceive of an image beyond the one that you're experiencing right now. And I know that if you've been following this channel for a while, I have been emphasizing this idea from a number of different angles. You're always talking about the same thing, but it's very important for me to share this because this is something that I have to come back to myself again and again and again, because we are in this playing field of life and there's so many distractions that come up, and it's not only about knowing something, right? Or it's not about just understanding something. It's not just about the information. It is about living it. It's about practicing it. And semen retention is at this point a practice which I have been engaged in for a long time, but it's also something that a lot of you that are watching this right now know that it's something that you're supposed to do, but your body has become conditioned to the cheap thrill of dopamine that comes through busting a nut. And the reason why it becomes a negative feedback loop is because without that life force energy, you can't conceive of an image. And when you feel like, when you know that you're capable of conceiving an image and of attracting a life that you want, and you know that you're capable of so much, but then when you're not living up to that capability, is when the gap is created for regret, disillusionment, anxiety, shame, guilt, depression to come in. Then we feel bad. Then we feel bad about feeling bad, and then becomes a negative feedback loop because we have no more energy left over to change the way that things are right now as well. Okay, so semen retention is a prerequisite because it allows us to preserve that creative energy so that we can go ahead and make the decisions that align with that reality, right? So it applies on two dimensions. First and foremost, transmuting that energy over here, conceiving of an image that is beyond your current reality, right? Knowing, okay, I can think about a certain certain set of circumstances that I intend to create in my life, right? Because you're very clear on what you don't want, but so many of us are not very clear on what it is that we do want. And that is essential to cultivate and transmute that creative energy into creating an image of what it is that you intend to create. And then the second dimension is really sacrificing the instant gratification in the right here, right now, for the long-term gains that come through making the decisions that align with that vision over the long term, right? So once you can make those decisions again and again and again that align with that vision, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel like busting a nut, but you don't do it, and you make that decision, that is a vote for the person that you're becoming. You're experiencing an emotion that is associated with that future point of view. And when you can experience that emotion in the here and the now, that is when the events in your life that you intend to create become magnetized towards you, right? So the law of attraction is not so much about, it's not so much about thinking different. Yes, that's part of it. It's about being different, and thoughts are just one aspect of your being. And then our behaviors lead to experiences which allow us to feel that emotion, all associating with a certain future circumstance as well, right? So those are really the two dimensions: getting clear on what it is that you intend to create, and then making the decisions that align with that vision, which is like semen retention is an avenue towards strengthening that muscle to make the right decision over the easy decision, right? To do what's right over what's easy, to move forward into growth rather than backwards into comfort. And that's just the process, that's the journey. That's just something I keep reminding myself as well, again and again and again. And hopefully you are also really embodying this information, practicing this information, living this, rather than just understanding it and intellectually entertaining it. Okay, so I hope that has provided you with the clarity that it has provided with me. But with all that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. Leave a comment below letting me know your number one takeaway. Subscribe if you have not already. And I will leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator. And I will catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.